Truesky Leo. Welcome to your reading for the month of July. So the first deck that I have here already laid out is the Mystic Fairy Tarot, and on the bottom of the deck we have for you the Knave of Wands. So interesting that the underlying energy is a fire suit card. So the Knave is like your page card. So this could be a child we're talking about. It could be you. So up to say, late teens age range is generally the page. And often if it isn't a person, so if it is a person, they'll be of the fire signs or significant fire houses in their chart, or the ruling planets placed strongly in the chart, and they will often be, of that fiery disposition. However, because it's also a page, they can be young. If it's not a person, though, however, it can also be just a new phase in your life. So it could be that there's some kind of new passion project or something new happening for you this month. There's an underlying energy of like a new passion or something at the moment. For the solar transit through the sign of Truesky Gemini, which we're still in, I have a lot of fairy themed decks here. So that's what they will be for your reading for July. So the sun does move into Truesky Cancer. However, it isn't until about the 17th of July that happens. So once again, the first card we have for you is another wand card, which is interesting considering this is for you, Leo. So in this spread here, we also have the King of Wands as the central card. So the Six of Wands, however, is about success and victory. So this will be a good month for you. It could even start really good. You might find that at the beginning of the month, there's some kind of celebration, and it's a celebration about your success. And it's outsiders acknowledging it. It's not just about you celebrating it. Then you have for your crowning card for the month, the Four of Swords. So this indicates that this month you really need to take some time to rest, recuperate, relax, rejuvenate. You really need to, and even meditate if you can. Just take some extra time for yourself to just calm and restore your nervous system. The Knight of Swords is our next card, and this night can bring a message. So you might receive some important message this month. If not, it could even be an individual that would be, say, late teens to like mid-30s age range, and they would have strong air placings in their chart, or the air houses or the air planets. And they're often very intellectual, but not very reliable. They're often very intelligent, but not very, emotional or passionate, or even very grounded. It doesn't have to be a person, though. It can also be that you find that you are actually learning these qualities this month. And there's some kind of important truth here. Then for the next card, we have the Tower. So I do find it interesting that you have got the Tower this month. So the Tower card is linked to the planet Uranus. It's about dramatic change and even kind of revolutionary energies. And currently we do have in the true sky Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And specifically right now, it's not exact yet, but on the 4th of July will be exact. Mars is conjoining Uranus in Taurus. So because Taurus is that sign that's so many signs away from you, it's actually like another fixed sign. So it's potentially could be squaring your Leo placements this month. However, because Uranus is a distant, it's an outer planet, it does take quite a while to move. So if this is challenging your Leo placement, it's not just going to affect this month, but obviously it could be with the Mars energy there, it could be very exaggerated this month. So there will be some kind of significant change in your life this month. Something ends, something dramatic is happening. It could even be linked to this this victory. So it's not that the victory won't work out. It might even be that you were surprised that you got this victory. Like, it can just be a surprising energy. You might have felt that whatever it was you're being celebrated for, you know, wasn't going to happen. And then all of a sudden it comes good and, you know, everyone's celebrating, because we also have the world here beneath it. And the world is a positive card. It does represent success and also completion. So it's the closing. It's the last card in the major arcana. So it's that closing card. It's the completion of a cycle, and it does have a very positive energy. You know, they have the wreath here and the crown. So it does indicate, you know, success, a successful completion of something. So interesting that the central card for you for the month is the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is a Leo type of card. I mean, the wand, Leo. However, it is a masculine energy. If you're not a masculine, it doesn't have to mean that it's not you. It could just mean that you're applying those fiery, you know, passionate Leo traits in a masculine way. So it's that real leadership potential here that is exaggerated. And this is like the card for you for the month. So I think this is going to be a really important month for you, Leo. Then we have the Magician. So this is all about manifesting the things in our life that we want, playing with life in a sense to, you know, win. And he's quite, not a trickster per se, but he has a very intelligent mind, but he also has mastered all the different elements. So he knows how to create from them. And then the base of the matter here we have for you is the Five of Pentacles. So there may be some underlying energy this month of struggles, especially financially, and a bit of scarcity. So it may be really holding things back. However, you do have this beautiful World card here next to it. So it's not too negative. But then we do have the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups does symbolize sadness and loss and disappointment. So that this is here, and it is linking with this King of Wands and the Six of Wands. So there may be some loss that happens this month as well. And it's linked to this financial loss as well. However, we have the Magician. So obviously you may be able to work with these energies in a positive way, especially having the World. You have really positive cards flanking these negative cards. The next deck I'm going to clarify with for you is the Victorian Fairy Tarot. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. So the Emperor is not exactly Leo's card. It's more linked to Aries. However, it does have that strong fiery leadership. It's got that kind of patriarchal, you know, fatherhood, Lord, you know, that kind of energy associated with it. So that's an underlying energy. So we have the Emperor, and we also had the Knave of Wands. So very masculine cards there as your shadow energy for the month. However, to clarify the Six of Wands, we have the Wheel of Time. So this is quite interesting. So the Wheel of Time it's like your Wheel of Fortune, and it is linked to Jupiter. So we currently have Jupiter. Jupiter is currently in True Sky Cancer. So potentially being a Leo, you may have Cancerian placements in your chart, or potentially, you know, Virgo, or many others, really. At the end of the day, you could have any. So yeah, like I was thinking, is ultimately you may have some planets in that Cancer constellation being so close to it, Leo's next to it. So maybe you do have some Jupiter aspects at the moment, because this is a really positive combination, having the Six of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune. It definitely brings, so whatever success that you are celebrating, really the Wheel of Fortune is kind of like saying, to clarify that, you know, the wheel is turning in your favor at this time. You know, the universe is basically kind of ushering these blessings to you. So that is lovely energy combination there. And that's this month. So for the Four of Swords, you have the Four of Summer to clarify. So the Four of Summer is like your Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups isn't the most positive card, and maybe that even is why it is suggesting this month you really need to recuperate and recover your mind, especially because this is your crowning card here. So the Four of Summer is a card that does represent some dissatisfaction in your life, some discontent. You know, you may be a bit bored, you're not really connecting properly to things. There's a bit of that kind of energy. So if you take that time out to rest and recuperate, you might actually find that those feelings do subside. It might just be that you are a bit like overwhelmed or something. Then you have, for the Knight of Swords, you've got the Eight of Spring. So this is like your Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is a very strongly kind of energetic card. It really exaggerates whatever it touches, and it brings like very swift, active, you know, kind of targeted energy, really. I mean, here we have literally they are firing arrows and there's a target in the background, and that's pretty much the kind of energy it does bring with it. So this sort of truth or this message you receive this month could be really accurate, and that could be something that you receive and even need to give to someone else, or maybe you receive it as in it's something you need to hear. For the Tower, however, we do have the Seven of Spring. So this is like your Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is a bit more of a defensive kind of energy. It's really linked to that feeling of needing to stand up for yourself and fight for your beliefs and, you know, protect yourself, defend yourself. There is a potential of, you know, feeling challenged and challenging others or opposing them. However, it has a positive energy. It's linked to taking the high road, holding your own, and also maintaining control of your own territory, that kind of energy. So having this with the Tower is a really interesting combination. So even though there are significant changes happening this month, this energy is saying to just stand strong and, you know, make sure that you are like, don't back down if people are challenging you, you know, stick up for yourself, which I can't really see a Leo doing that anyway. So you probably don't need that advice. Then for the King of Wands, we have the Two of Winter. So this is all about making decisions. So this is a month where it's really important that you're very decisive. There may be serious decision making needed this month, and it may be quite hard to make them. So you might find that there are decisions that you need to make that are actually really opposing. They don't have, it's hard to find like a middle ground, or you may kind of feel almost like it's like a crossroads kind of feeling, like you know, really have to take a side, and that you feel really caught in the middle as well. Like it's hard to do that. So you might even find that, you know, you kind of want to not make a decision. You know, there is that stalemate energy, sitting on the fence. There is a potential for a truce, but it's a very painful, difficult decision this month that is going to come in. Then for the Magician, you have the Four of Winter. So that's really interesting because we had the Four of Swords for the crowning card, and now you have it to clarify this Magician energy. So yeah, even with all this manifesting and this positive energy, make sure you're resting, make sure your nervous system is, you know, in good form. Make sure you're not overstimulated, doing too much, you know, overstretched, because it does seem to be saying here that that energy has come up twice for us so far. And linking here with the Magician, definitely, you know, if you are manifesting, it could affect your abilities to manifest. It could also be saying that in these times of rest might be a really good time to do that kind of work. Obviously, you still need to rest and recuperate and recover and all that. But once you're feeling better, then it would be a really good time to use that manifesting energy. Then for the World, we have the Five of Winter. So the Five of Winter is like your Five of Swords, and it is a card of conflict. However, because it's to clarify the world, there's potential different ways you could explain this. It could be saying that there is some kind of completion of conflict in your life, that a conflict has resolved. It could even involve like 5 different individuals in your life, or 4, including you. But yeah, there's definitely a conflict here attached to this World card. It could even say that once this completion has occurred, that not only could this have resolved, which could definitely be the case, but it could even be saying that once this resolution has happened, maybe there is conflict coming in as well. I'm not sure. I feel like it is saying that the conflict has been resolved. So let me know in the comments if it's which way it goes for you, because it could go either way. Obviously, there's so many different situations that I could be picking up on. So for the Five of Pentacles here, this was the interesting. Oh my goodness, we have the World to clarify that. So we do have the World twice for you this month. So it is a completion, and it is a successful completion month for you. So you might find there's some significant things wrapping up. However, this time it's for the Five of Pentacles. So this was about that hard times financially. That's basically poverty and scarcity, these kinds of energies. So this is completing for you. This energy is completing. So not only do we have this conflict completing, but we have this other energy completing. So that is fantastic. And then for the Five of Cups, we actually have the Hermit. So this was more about the sadness, the loss. It could even be loneliness as well. The Hermit is all about spending time alone, going within. If you are a meditator, trying to, meditate, go within to find the solutions, to find the answers to whatever it is that is bothering you. You can always ask for higher guidance depending on who you're working with. Here we have an owl, which is lovely. So it's definitely a card linked to wisdom, the Hermit. So it's about finding that wisdom and being like that wise old man. Has that energy attached to it. So the next cards I'm going to pull from for you are the magical messages from the fairies. And on the bottom of the deck we have, you've got the power. Use your abilities to resolve the situation. You can do it. Then we have as your crowning card, assertiveness. Stand up for your beliefs and only say yes if you really want to. So that was for the Four of Swords and the Four of Summer. So 4-4. That's interesting too. 4-4. Then for the central card, we have connect with nature. You're rejuvenated and inspired by spending time outdoors. So that's a lovely card too. So this is to do with this decision making. So potentially spending time outdoors may help you in whatever it is that you're needing to think about, decide on, ponder. Then we have express your individuality. Allow your true self to shine because you're awesome. And this is for this poverty that's ending, this scarcity that's resolving. So that's lovely. It's your time to shine, Leo. It's a good month by the looks of it. The next cards I'm going to pull from are the Fairies Oracle, the Fraud one. And on the bottom of the deck, we have for you for the month, Sylvanus, which is number 34. And it represents truth, cutting through deception, and clarity. At this time, you are discovering new truths about yourself. They are essential for you to know in order to create relationships based on mutual respect, affection, and trust. These things can only work if we see ourselves and others as we are. Currently, both fairy and this world are functioning as a giant mirror in which we see ourselves in many surprising ways. People tend to dread this because we assume that we are the worst than we think, but this is far from necessarily true. Now is the time for finding out the false and misleading beliefs you have accepted and discovering that you are a better person than you thought and have the potential to accomplish more than you believed you could. If someone says you are better or simply different than you think you are, don't automatically reject this. Think it over carefully. You have more to give and more to enjoy than you've been giving yourself credit for. So that's just the shadow energy of the deck for you for the month. However, your first card, the crowning card for you this month, is actually the Bodacious Bodark. So an interesting figure to have for you. So their energies are linked with meddling, tampering, sabotage, helpful fixing, and order. So interesting character. Someone somewhere is meddling uninvited in the issue. It may be you. It may be someone else. See if you can work out who it is and begin to untangle the messy web they have woven of confusion and disorder and misunderstanding, so much worse than our own natural disorder. It will take great firmness to get this person to keep his sticky fingers out of your affairs, or you to keep yours out of the affairs of others. The amount of tact you use in sorting this out is up to you, but the Bodark type person doesn't usually notice hints. Remember, whoever it is says they mean well. They may even believe that. It's very hard to believe that the Bodark's bad results are always just an accident, as he insists. He may believe this, but we don't have to. The word sabotage comes to mind. If you don't want the Bodark hanging around looking for ways to help, make sure you don't leave things in the wrong place or dangle any loose ends. He might find some bodacious things to do with them. So that's your crowning card for the month. That's interesting. And then you have your central card is Penelope Dreamweaver. So her energies are inspiration, magical dreams, and visions. So Leo can be quite a visionary sign actually, due to the fire element. Seek visions and inspiration. Be aware they are often subtle and require close attention. Fantasies, dreams, and daydreams are all places an inspiration fairy can contact us. But she can also pop up unannounced in the midst of the most ordinary of activities. In the bath, washing the dishes, driving the car, or anywhere else that our mind is half occupied and half running on idle. Pay special attention to unsought inspirations at this time. They have something wonderful to offer you, but it is up to you to catch them and bring them into reality. So that's lovely. That's your central card. And also it's with this connect with nature again. So you might find that these inspiration fairies actually come to you when you are in nature. And then the last card for you, the base of the matter, is himself. So he is linked to natural law, life force, magic, and shamanic power. When himself appears in a card spread, he not only indicates that a great amount of energy is present in the reading, but he also strongly energizes the fairy cards around him. Everything he touches becomes more of whatever it is, more alive, more vigorous, more powerful, more awesome, or more awful. This card in a reading can indicate great vitality, victory, or triumph, confidence, and power. There is leadership and ability to command, steadfastness and integrity, wild power held and channeled for the good of all by will. Himself speaks of protection, either of the querent or of someone the querent owes protection to, like a child or an elder. Acceptance of paternal responsibility is important, as are deep and committed relationships. He is the preserver of the natural world and its balances. Shamanic power may be indicated here, as well as a potential for powerful spiritual healing. This card may also speak of erotic energy and passion and potent creativity. So, wow, what a potent month for you so far, Leo. The next deck that I have for you is the Fairy Ring, and on the bottom of the deck we have Ace, the Fire Drake. So the Fire Drake's from the Summer Court, and the Fire Drake indicates a time of restless energy and desire for change. He may herald new opportunities, new ventures, and a cycle of great creative energy, innovation, invention, inspiration, dynamism, and power. So that's that one. The first card for you, however, is the crowning card for you for the month is the Fairy Festival of Midsummer. So how interesting, depending on where you are in the world at the moment, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you would be in the midsummer. So I do find it interesting that this card has come up for you. However, you could be in the Southern Hemisphere in the midwinter too. So the Midsummer card brings in joyful energies of magic, enchantment, consummation, culmination, celebration, delight, fun, light, illumination, and clarity. So that's your crowning card. And it's linked to this bodacious bodark. So maybe in the midsummer, you might meet this bodacious bodark, or this bodacious bodark energy maybe around for you in that midsummer time. Or if it just means those energies, it could be, yeah, more linked to that. Then for the central card for you, we have the King Finvara, who does symbolize authority and authority figures, government, the law, legal settlements, contracts, and agreements. It could also indicate an actual person in your life, a mature man who is concerned with social issues and people, compassionate, sensitive, and emotionally supportive. So that's interesting. King Finvara. Because we had the King for your central card. We already had the King of Wands. He almost has that energy as well. I mean, he does have a cup though. So... and then the final card for you, the base of the matter is another king. So we have at least 3 kings, yeah, this reading for you. How interesting that, yeah, all this kingly energy, which is very much Leo's realm, you know, the king. So this time, however, it is the king Gwyn ap Nudd. So he symbolizes deeply buried secrets, things hidden, concealed fears, suppressed feelings, self-imposed restrictions, or bondage to the past. Something unresolved might be surfacing from your subconscious mind to affect the present. Gwyn ap Nudd may even be a real person in your life, a mature or elderly man of some influence who is very sober and serious, intellectual and cerebral, but impersonal and detached. So, wow, so that's so interesting. That's your base of the matter card. So the next cards I'm going to clarify is actually the last deck I'm going to clarify with today, is the Fairy Tale Lenormand. And on the bottom of the deck, we do have the dog. So there might be an underlying energy this month to do with friends and friendship. It could be a specific friend, but just in general, friendship is going to be interesting. Okay, wow. Okay, so the first card we got is the clouds. So the clouds does represent like worries and fears, anxieties. It can even have an energy like depression or mental illness, like mental health. It does have that energy, which is really interesting that you have it for your crowning position. Whoops, I didn't mean to knock them over. Because even though we had some positive cards here, it's the one telling you to rest. It's really important to rest. And there's some discontent in your situation. To be assertive. There is this cheeky, bodacious bodark though. That energy is there. But there's this celebratory midsummer energy as well. But yeah, you might find that this month there are worries and concerns that do come up. Then the central card we have is the bouquet. So the bouquet is linked to, it's a very social card. I'm not sure if you can really see here. There's like a whole heap of flowers and they're all... they've got faces, you know. It's a very social card. It's very much linked to your social life. Also, the energies of like flattery, pleasantness, etiquette, politeness, cordiality, and appreciation. So having it with the clouds does indicate that your social circle, there may be some deception there. There may be confusion in your social life, your social circle. And also there may even be a sense of like false gratitude there as well. having that underlying energy of the dog, however, it kind of exaggerate friendship and friends. So it's not all bad. Like the bouquet and the dog is quite positive combination. So it does have an appreciation for friends and friendship, and also admiration from friends. And however, with the fox here, which is your base card, it does more so represent socializing for selfish reasons. So there's that cunning kind of energy there, and also suspicions about your social life. And so this is also linked to the dog. So it's also to do with your friends. So there's some it could be like a cunning friend, or a friendship that's not quite right here. So the dog with the clouds is more about confusion around a friend, confusion around a friendship, confusion around loyalty, because the dog's all about loyalty as well. So because we have the bouquet in the center, it's not just a friend or a friendship. It definitely has, it's because that's the card more to do with the social life and etiquette and things like that. And then having the fox with the dog does indicate that you may have a selfish friend, or, you know, suspicious about loyalty, if they're loyal or not. There's a conflict between friendship and distrust. So all of these energies together. But these are the cards that I've pulled for you for the month of July. So in the true sky with the astrology at the moment, I thought it was interesting because we do have the South Node in True Sky Leo, and we also have Venus. So Venus has entered into Leo, True Sky Leo, a few days back now. And during this month, in July, Venus will conjoin the South Node. So because the South Node is about the past, and definitely like past lives, potentially past energies, and Venus is often to do with feminine, generally feminine energies, can be love as well. So this month you may have a past love or past life love or something like that returning, or there may be some, it doesn't even have to mean they're returning, it might just be a feeling returning. It could be, I mean, so far in this reading we have some kind of love energies, but also we definitely had that underlying, like the friendship and the social circle with that last bit. So potentially it could even be someone from your social circle or your friendship group even. But it does sound tricky. It does sound confusing, and don't let it get to you. Ultimately, you know, having the clouds, it's a bit worrying, and then having the fox as well. You know, obviously enjoy yourself, enjoy your month, you know, live your best life. But yeah, don't let the negative stuff get to you. If there is anything that crops up, I'm not so sure that there will be. But yeah, definitely having the bouquet with the fox and the clouds surrounding is saying something. And then having, yeah, the South Node in Leo. So there's a lot of, it means Leos at the moment are going through a lot of kind of karmic, you know, past energies coming up. And it can even be from past lives as well. And then we've also got at the moment, I mean, at the moment, the sun is in Gemini, so that could be sextiling your Leo placement or placements. And also we do currently have the Mercury retrograde. So most of July will be Mercury retrograde because it lasts for about 3 weeks. So it's in Gemini, True Sky Gemini. So it won't be too, I would say, too bad for a Leo, because Gemini can be sextile to Leo placings. However, just be careful, because Mercury retrograde tends to bring extra stuff with it, you know. So make sure that if there is anything that you're signing or doing, you know, maybe try to check all the bases, you know. The Chariot card didn't come up, so I don't see any like car troubles, but still make sure everything's, you know, running well if you're going away or anything like that. Yeah, so this is your reading for the month of July. I hope you have a fantastic month. And if it's resonated at all, let me know in the comments, or if it hasn't, or subscribe if you haven't already. You could share it, or if you have subscribed, thank you so much, and thank you for returning, and I hope you enjoyed your reading, and have a great month. Bye.